Hi, welcome to my shop. This is Mixed Metal Mimi's shop, and come on in.
Thank you. And so here we are, we're in your workshop right
This
now.
is my workshop. This is where it gets, the magic happens.
This is where the magic happens.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit of history as to how long you've been working with Metal Mimi.
Yeah, of course. So I was a dental hygienist for 23 years, and I was kind of bored and burnt out of my work and looking for something creative. I've always been a creative person, and I found someone that was part of the Cowichan Valley Rockhounds that was teaching silversmithing in her home studio right here in the valley. So this totally intrigued me, and I joined, and this wonderful 40-year silversmith teacher taught me all the little tricks and secrets of how to silversmith. So I learned how to set stones and solder and all kinds of interesting things, but always using refined metals that had to be processed to make the jewelry.
Yes.
And one day I went into the recycle and I found this beautiful antique silver platter. And I thought, why can't I use this instead of this, refined silver sheet? This is already something that's existing and floating around on the planet. Why not use it? So I did, and I started creating jewelry from it, and I've never looked back, because to me it just feels so good to use something that's already out there, and it's recycling, it's got character.
Reusing and rejuvenating.
Rejuvenating, refurbishing, upcycling, whatever you want to call it. It is, a great way to leave a little footprint on it. So here's an example of a beautiful vintage silver plate that could have been somebody's wedding gift or anniversary gift. I've seen all kinds of engraving for different birthdays, what have you, on them. So this is what they look like, and this would be an example of an Indian brass plate, lots of colors and peacocks in some of their pieces.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And then from Istanbul, Turkey, they have these beautiful decorative wall plates. This one I've cut up here, that hang on their walls, and they have slowly made their way, to Canada through, tour people who have traveled or what have you, and then they end up in the garage sales or whatever when they're tired of them. So that's what I do. I cut them up and make my jewelry from them. But there's a few steps that I have to go through.
Yes.
I like to try and keep as much of the plate, because every bit of the plate has some detail that I could use.
Oh,
so at the end, there's very little waste. As you can see, there's a lot of pattern here.
So you really have got the history, in your hands when you're looking at something like this that could be, 100, 200 years old.
Oh, absolutely. Some of them are from the early 1900s.
Appreciate what the original artists have done.
Well, that's right too. It is art to start with, so I'm super lucky.
It's already art.
It's already art.
But have you found within your travels that you do get a lot of your materials from the secondhand shops that people just don't want anymore?
Yeah, for sure. And I'd like to promote that before they clean up grandma's silver or mom's silver and bring it to the thrift store, that they can come see me, and I can make everybody in the family a little piece, a little memorabilia from their own
And that
pieces.
to me is, I have, a couple of things that maybe I could do to do the exact thing, because I find the younger generation these days are really not interested in grandma's things.
Exactly.
And, we can try to give them to them, but they'll just say, no, that's too cluttered. I don't want to be cluttered. So to get a precious piece of jewelry that you've made from one of grandma's beautiful plates.
I love it. It's really special.
Extremely special.
Yeah, I'm actually doing that for a customer right here with her original piece here.
Oh,
This is hers, and I've got some pieces that I'm going to cut from it.
So you actually get right in there and carve out. I can see your drawings on it here. So from there you would...
Yeah, so sometimes we might find that there's a little leafy pattern that we really like to make some earrings, so I'll saw around that, and I'll show you how fine my saw is after. Or it can just be a random strip, like she wants a bookmark made out of that. So for her son's 30th birthday from their wedding gift. So
oh my goodness, the story continues. I love it.
Yeah, it really does. Let me show you where I keep all the pieces that I've picked up over the years and my parents have picked up for me over the years. My little storage area here. And this is a very small fraction of my collection of pieces that I choose from. These are probably more the ones I tend to go for on my daily bread and butter pieces. So here's an example of a beautiful Indian brass tray that I would work with. And this I picked up at one of our local secondhand stores. And this is a beautiful Turkish copper plate that was created in Istanbul, Turkey. It's a process that has a long name that I can never remember, but this is an art form in itself there, and people have traveled there, bring them home and put them on their walls, and then one day their decor changes. They end up in thrift stores, and that's where I come in. So. But if I do have to get rid of the edges because I'm not using them right away, here's some that I've cut off here. I'll come over to my shear and I'll start taking off the edge of the tray so I could work with the middle pieces a little easier.
Gosh.
Yeah. And then I end up with something similar to this, which is a more workable piece. So here's an example of a little tiny flower that I was able to cut out with my saw.
Oh, gosh.
So this bench pin gives me a place to place my metal so I can work within this hole here. So I just take a little beeswax onto the blade just to help.
Good old beeswax.
And I'm just going to freehand this, but let's say this was, you know, a little flower that I wanted to cut out. Basically, I can get in there and do some really fine cuts with this. And it's just practice. I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and I do a lot of sawing, so I just take my time. There are days where some sawing days are better than others. This is my collection of broken blades. This is a wonderful little tool called a ring clamp, and it allows me to put the piece in there, work into my bench pin, and these are traditional silversmithing techniques. This is a metal file, and then I can go around and file off any rough edges, because these will be earrings or necklaces or bracelets that are close to people's skin, of course. And you want everything to be nice and smooth and nice to wear. So you can place the piece in there. I'm going to make a little noise here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a little bit of a...
Oh my.
I just like them better that way than flat. It just makes them
it gives it more
a
life.
a bit of life. Exactly what I was going to say. That's right.
Oh gosh, exquisite.
These are more forming tools here, and those as well. I've got lots of stamps and texturing hammers, and so each little station has its purpose. Yeah, that's my drilling station, and then I have my photographing station over there. And this is my studio space, so people can come and shop, browse, and talk about custom work in this space. So I've created this area here where we can put the pieces down and talk about what kind of things they want from their platters or plates.
Wonderful.
And I've also created this space with the intention of giving classes. So I've refinished all this furniture to, you know, go with the room, and it can be pulled out and made bigger with benches, and we can have a classroom space here, which is my intentions, hopefully next year or maybe at the end of the year. And then the big picture with this is women's retreats. So I'm hoping, because it has its own bedroom and bathroom and little kitchen area, to be able to offer 2 to 4 women to come and build a piece of jewelry, and maybe take them to the vineyards or take them to some music festivals, or, you know, a hike.
Thinking holistically,
Yes,
aren't you, for
a
the
complete
future.
weekend. And I've created 3 different vignettes here of brass, copper, silver pieces that could coordinate together.
Oh, that's just, look at this.
Yeah, this is
Oh.
my sterling silver collection. So a lot of what I work with is sterling, but plated on copper or brass. These are sterling pieces that I found along the way that I was lucky enough to find, because you don't find a lot of 100% sterling pieces
Sterling.
in the thrift stores.
No, you
So
don't.
yeah, so that's what this little case is all about.
Oh,
Yeah,
these
it's so
are
much
gorgeous,
fun.
your rings and things in here.
Yeah, so the possibilities are endless, really. Rings and barrettes. At Christmas time, I make Christmas ornaments that are really cute too. You know, bookmarks, keychains. So not just jewelry. I do have now a housewares collection where I'm making solar lights out of candlesticks and rain chains out of goblets and bird feeders out of
It just never
of
stops,
bowls and
does
plates. Well, the thing is I have a lot of these beautiful three-dimensioned pieces that I haven't made jewelry with, but I kept them, and now I've
No,
come up with what I'm going to make with them.
and
So-
what you're going to make. Yes. Well, it just takes time. You have to be so inspired, don't you?
You do. And then these are the knife ends
Yes.
with the little magnet, and you can give them as a little housewarming gift, and they can put a little flower in it, or maybe a piece of rosemary by their fridge where they're cooking a herb or something, if they're wanting to pick their basil or whatever. Well, they're kind of timeless. I've made them now for almost 10 years, and I have wonderful women from around the world actually who have collected them. They collect a different colored silk or a different metal piece, part of the necklace every year. So it's really quite fun when someone has 2 or 3 or even 6 pieces of mine. So
It's wonderful.
yeah, thank you.